Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Thursday night. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for Content and Cocktails. Wow, what a week it's been. So, first of all, my name's Tom Stanhope, and if you are watching this on my personal feed or on my business page or somewhere else that isn't Grow Your Business with Video, the free Facebook group for growing your business with video, then please do come on over there. So we've got quite a special evening this evening, and it's mostly special because we are coming towards the end of a full-on live video challenge. I've been working with a group of people in a free challenge, helping them with some of the basics of live video and some of the not so basics actually. People in that group have started off the week never having done live video before, never having thought about using possibly having thought about using live video for their business, but not necessarily very happy about the idea. So this for me is has been a wonderful week. I've been wanting to run this challenge for the best part of 18 months really, and I've been holding back for a variety of reasons. One, because I didn't feel like the time was right. I didn't feel like I had the content correct, and sort of also significantly, I didn't have my course Video Academy quite ready, because this is a challenge launch. So at the same time, we're going to be sharing our course. I'm saying we like I'm the queen or something, but it was myself and Una who developed this course, and this is kind of what it's all about. So if you haven't tuned into Content to Cocktails before, well, welcome. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here if this is your first time, and if you are a returning viewer, then please welcome. What is tonight all about? Well, each week we spend an hour, usually about an hour, taking a bit of a deep dive into an aspect of video marketing, and it's always fun, and there's always a cocktail, because I'm a great believer in making marketing enjoyable for myself as much as for everybody else, and that is part of it. I get to sit down, I get to have a drink, and I get to chat about something that I am passionate about, and can share some of the brains in my head with people, and help you on your sort of journey towards video mastery. So inevitably this week it's going to be about live video. I've been talking about live video a lot, really to sort of because I think it's one of those things that really it's been a huge driver for my business. I know plenty of people for whom this has been a huge driver too, people who have built significant businesses off the back. Hello Scott, how you doing? It's good to have you here. What's the news with you, Scott? Yeah, so live video has been the sort of the focus of all of this, really. And this week we're going back to an old favorite. I'm going to get out the champagne saber again today, and see if I can go for the hat trick. So we've done a few bottles of champagne sabered open a few times before, normally for sort of special occasion. I thought this is a special occasion, so we'll use this to kind of knock the top off a bottle of champagne. Scott says kidney stones and making videos about Scottish wildcats. Ooh, that sounds interesting. So Scott's somebody who's been on a live video journey over the last year, and I guess we'll probably talk about that in some detail over the kind of the next hour. I love wildcats. I think wildcats are great. Kidney stones, I hope, not yours, I hope, Scott. But are you talking about them or sort of experiencing them? I hope not experiencing, but I hope it's in a sort of professional capacity, as it were. Yeah. But videos about wildcats sounds cool. I like the sound of that. Oh dear. what you have my deepest sympathies, because that is not nice. So shall we do this? shall we see about knocking open this? Hello, Austin. How you doing? Yes, all is very well. We are going great guns here. So this, what we're about to do, is kind of a very good illustration of the sort of it sort of encapsulates a truth about the inherent risk of live video. I've been talking about live video and the sort of the kind of the benefits that it can give to your business, but also one of the recurring themes has been the sort of people feeling it's a slightly risky affair. And you know what? That's where some of the pleasure is. But if you're prepared, I've got my plan in front of me, but I've introduced a little bit of variability into the plan, and that is the act of sabering open a bottle of champagne, because I'm going to be making French 75s. Now, those of you who are long-time viewers of the show know that the French 75 is a cocktail I sort of come back to on a regular basis, because well, frankly, because it's a very tasty cocktail. It's not in Bernard's 100 cocktails. It's not there. So it is a deviation from the process of working our way through this. But what we're going to do, so what it is, it's basically a mixture of gin, lemon juice, and some simple syrup, some sugar syrup, shaken up, and then you put a dash, put a sort of a half measure of that in the bottom of a champagne flute, and then top it up with a bit of fizz. But I'm going to just juice a lemon. So yeah, tell who's out there. We've got 6 viewers. We've got 6 viewers, 5 of which are from the challenge, one of whom is in the. So give me a shout out. Tell me who's out there. I'm gonna just first off, using my pairing knife, I'm going to pair there. So the challenge group has been wonderful. I've met some really, really lovely people in there. Everyone there has been throwing themselves in. Hello, Nick, how you doing? Throwing themselves into it and really, really going for it. And I'd love to see all of the Scott saying, great plan. I'd rather do lives than pre-records any day. It took me 4 hours to pull together a 7-minute piece for Highland Wildlife Park. It is a truth, and it's interesting because I know that Scott is a very, very accomplished professional speaker, and I would massively encourage you to check out his live shows, because over the last year, Scott, who I've had the pleasure of working with, Scott's been a member of Grow Your Business with Video for a while, and Scott has been really has moved into an online space in a way that is kind of really sort of forged an entirely new path, which has been fascinating. Hello, Facebook user. Hang on, I'm just going to pop on over into the challenge group, because I can probably have 2 screens open. Someone said, Sarah, hello, pint of Guinness. I could have gone for a black velvet, couldn't I? Bit of Guinness and champagne, which I quite like as a cocktail. It's one of those cocktails that shouldn't work but does. I'm going to need. That wasn't a very juicy lemon, unfortunately. So we've juiced our lemon. Angela, hello, and Michelle, hello. I can see you now. I can see your names there. So we've juiced our lemon. Ooh, you lucky buggers in the pub. Oh man. So we're going to mix our. So first of all, we've got obviously down here in Plymouth, I've got my Plymouth gin. So Plymouth gin, if you want to sponsor the show, you'd be very welcome to. Just saying. So we've got a measure of gin in the shaker. And Plymouth gin is actually one of my favourites. I'm not just saying that because we're down here in Plymouth. It's a proper nautical gin with a fine heritage. Liz is having a cup of tea, probably very, very sensible. There's less chance of kind of physical injury, I think, drinking a cup of tea. So that's a measure of lemon juice in there, and then we've got the simple syrup. I'm going to put half a measure of that into the mix. Oh, bugger! You know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten my ice, but not to fear. I've got some here. So we're going to then put some ice in the shaker and give it a very quick shake, and then we're going to do the risky bit where we're going to use a sword to open the champagne. Okay, so that's the mix that goes in the bottom of the French 75. So this is a slightly more lengthier intro sequence to the cocktails and the cocktails bit of content of cocktails. So right, here we have the champagne. So preparing a bottle for sabering, because what we're going to aim to do is just kind of knock the top off the bottle. So but the bottle's nice and chilly. First of all, we need to completely remove all of the wrapper, all of the foil and the paper. So all of it comes off. Tear it off, all the way off. Now I've done this a few times, and I've only had it explode on me once. So who knows what's going to happen? Now you next have to take the cage and just move it up a bit. So I'm gonna sort of undo the cage, move it up a little bit, because I don't want the whole thing just to kind of pop off. Then I'm gonna re-tighten it. So you can see what's happened here is I've moved the cage up and I've exposed the neck there. Now what you're looking for is the seam, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the seam. Let me just dry the bottle off. This is a bit risky, but we'll get there. So I'm going to wrap that around it. Now I need to find the seam of the bottle, the mold. I can't see the damn thing. I'm going to use my torch on my phone just to. This bottle should have a seam. I can't. Ah, that'll do. Right, here comes the risky bit. So here comes the risky bit. I'm just gonna put a bit of a shield over the electronics. That would probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? Shield. There we go. So I'm gonna. So the plan is that I basically run the blade up there and knock the top off. There we go. Look at that. How about that? Says you're going to make a mess, says Karen. Am I? Am I going to make a mess? I don't think so. There we go. Look, it's come off clean, really clean, in fact. How about that? You don't get that on many lives, do you? And so it just comes off clean. All you do, you just knock it off clean. And conspiracy. Yeah, that's it. It's Bill Gates. Bill Gates told me how to do this. So there we go. Look at that. That is the kind of nonsense you get. Are you supposed to get? No, you just all you want to do is knock the top off so that you can pour it. What you don't want is for the whole damn thing to explode. You want it to be, you want it to you want it to sort of kind of come off so you can actually pour it, and so it comes off cleanly. So somewhere around there, there's a cork and a neck attached. I'll see if I can find it because it's it ricocheted off the wall. So it ricocheted off the wall. Yes, Scott, I am going to have to drink the bottle now, but thankfully Una's going to help me, which is kind of very generous of her. So French 75. Here we go. So I'm going to take some of this and just pour a little bit of the mixture into the bottom of the. Then I'm going to put a bit of take a bit of the fizz. It's showing off. So we're going to just pour. Ooh. Tends to fizz up quite a lot because of the sort of the debris and the from the freshly squeezed lemon. Yeah, this is it's one of these cocktails that no. Karen says, I thought you were just supposed to cut the cork off, not the glass. Exactly. No. The point of it is that you knock the cork so that somewhere in the mess there is a cork in the neck of a champagne bottle, and you just knock the top off. Apparently, it's a thing that started during the Napoleonic Wars, and French cavalry officers would open bottles of champagne with their sabers. Show-offs, isn't it? It's dreadful. What kind of person would do something as cheap a trick as that? Cheers, everybody. That went quite well. I was a little bit worried. Oh my God, it's so good. So I think just turn that torch off. Pretty much guarantee you the only place you'll have seen that online is with me. Cheers. Yeah. So that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing any more. I'm always absurdly pleased that it doesn't explode and go everywhere. Lots of fun can be had with this. I'm just going to recap what we've done this week. Nicola, you can get it on the replay. Don't worry, it'll be there. It'll be there on the replay. I'm just going to see, have we got any viewers on Twitch? No viewers on Twitch. So what have we been up to this week? For the people who haven't been part of this, I'm running a challenge, and this challenge is all about live video. And over 4 days, Monday to Thursday, today, we have done a task each day. There's been a sort of something that people can get their teeth into, a bit of learning to help them on their journey. The first day was all about mindset, and we looked at some of the ways we can maybe flip the narrative a little bit on our sort of anxieties around going live. We talked about some of the reasons why we don't like to see ourselves on camera, and I've talked about that many times before on various kind of episodes of this show. Day 2 was all about coming up with a format. So Scott, you are you are a man who kind of gets this. We were talking about, and I was getting people to think about and plan and develop a concept, a format for their regular shows. So choosing a time, choosing a kind of a day, a time, and a format. So basically coming up with a shtick like this, content and cocktails, whatever it is, coming up with something that will that you can build an identity around, that you can build a show up, rather than just randomly going live. You're going live with purpose, but more than going live with purpose, you're going live with kind of a sort of a definite kind of underpinning kind of structure that can be repeatable week in, week out. We then took the next step along the journey, where we spoke about and did a task around individual episode structure. So we looked at the structure of a live, a sort of easy, repeatable structure that you can sort of modify and change as much as you want. And then today we looked at a bit slightly more sort of open-ended task. I wanted people to think about the space that they do their lives in, either their sort of ideal space or an actual space, and then think about ways they can improve it. I also asked them about a little bit of kit. You know, which bits are we looking to which bits do we already have, which bits do we want to improve, what are our sort of ambitions? Because, you know, it's important to think about what's coming next. If you're going to be doing lives regularly, it's kind of it's a good way to develop sort of ideas of kind of where you want to go with it. What I want to do tonight is talk a little bit about repurposing. Now, I'm going to talk about this in much more detail during the mastermind, because on Monday, next Monday, we will be wrapping up the challenge with a mastermind. And during that mastermind, we will pull all these various themes and threads together, and we will talk about how you can what sort of systems and processes you can put in place to really kind of develop lives as a marketing tool, as something to generate more sales, but also how lives can be part of the sort of the engine house of, you know, a sort of fuel in the engine of content, because we're all, you know, we get told so often, oh, you've got to be doing, you know, got to be doing reels, you've got to be doing TikTok, you've got to be doing all this. There's a hunger for video content. Lives are easy. And as Scott was saying, pre-recorded stuff can be really hard. But if you take a repurposing sort of attitude towards it, you can actually get much more out of your content. So in the masterclass, we'll be getting into that somewhat. But I wanted to just touch on it tonight, because actually it's a really kind of a really useful topic. But also, of course, on Monday we will be opening the doors on Video Academy. Now, Video Academy is something I have been working on as a course, developing it for just really almost year and a half, and it's effectively the coursifying of the processes and kind of systems that I've been helping kind of one-to-one clients with to use video for years and years and years. And when I was doing Lisa's course, when I was thinking, how do I take what I've got and turn it into something that is actually going to be really useful to people? What do they want? There was this understanding that sort of live video and pre-recorded were obviously, they're very different beasts, but you need to be thinking about both of them, but thinking of video in the round. And really the way to do that is we've constructed this course which takes you through all those different parts, the sort of the planning, the pre-production, the production, the post-production. So so there's kind of all the strategic stuff in there, there's all the practical stuff, there's all the mindset stuff, there's all the story stuff, all the skills you need to kind of to build that course out. So the doors will be opening on that, which is very exciting, and they'll be opening in a way which is something that, as I say, I've wanted to do for ages. So I know there's a fair few folks who've already expressed an interest to be in on it, on that first cohort. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that. But that is more of a conversation for Monday. So if I was to ask the challenge folks, what would you say was the most useful learning you've had? If there was one thing that you sort of took away from the last 4 days, what's been the thing that's stuck in your head the most? Because different people have taken away different things. I know, for example, Karen Dawkins has been going live for a while and is kind of is sort of fully embraced video in many ways. But I think there's been a refinement of thinking. It says I have a new name for my chill out live, by the way. Yeah, brilliant. So this is it, development. Liz says mindset, and I think this, as I said at the start, the mindset thing is the really important thing, isn't it? It is that it's that sort of the beast that needs to be vanquished a lot of the time, because if you've not got hold of that particular hot potato, then it's kind of you need to sort of deal with that in order to move forward. Nick says googly eyes. Yeah, it's a great one, that, isn't it? Actually, I have a suspicion that not suspicion. Scott and I talked googly eyes months ago, actually, didn't we? And I think you might have been the person who sort of put me onto it, or I can't remember. Quite probably, yeah. But yeah, googly eyes. Yeah, so it's been interesting. I think a lot of people probably would say mindset, and I think it's one of those things that a lot of people, when they think about lives, they just find the idea petrifying. And I know there's people in the group who are still kind of grappling with that, but I think have moved from the point of where they were thinking, I'm never ever going to do this, to the point where they're thinking, I think I can do this. And that is a huge shift to just happen in just sort of just a week. Diane says, I still need to work on my mindset, but I've done my first ever lives in the safety of the group, and I have loved it. And you've got such a lovely natural way, and I think it will, like everybody there, actually, it's clearly a big step, but you've made it look quite effortless, really, for somebody who's been so worried about it. Not, I say, it makes it sound worse than it is. For somebody who's had a certain amount of kind of discomfort around the idea of going live, you've done it with great aplomb, So, cheers, Diane. You've knocked it out the park. Positive, be positive, be kind to yourself. So directly after this, I will be doing the daily recap in the group. So we're going to be taking the next sort of, because every day in the group we've had our daily live sort of session, and then it's been we've had an evening live, because there's some people all over the place. We've got folks in the States, we've got people in Oman, we've got quite an international crowd, which is great. And actually, yeah, that's it. And you know what else I've really loved about the group? It's been so supportive. There's been, I think, people who have never met each other before, yet have come together in a shared a place to, sharing the experience of getting to grips with this stuff together has been really important. So yeah, and so Karen's just illustrating it nicely there, because I think there's been a lot of support and a lot of genuine, heartfelt support. Diane says, I'm having a beer and being very kind to myself. Good. Self-care and all that. I must say, this is very nice. I might have another one of these, but not straight away. And share, yeah, Karen says, it's a lovely, yeah, exactly. And actually, we've forged a community very quickly, which I've loved. Really has been a fabulous go. Look, didn't it, Michelle? Yeah, no, Michelle, thank you so much. Yeah, it has been a genuinely. I think I think part of it is I've spent a lot of time looking at these kind of challenges and seeing the ones that I thought were really good and the ones that I thought weren't quite for me. the ones that I really liked are the ones that felt very, very personal, very kind of had a good sort of friendly vibe about them, and sort of a community. And we're gonna keep that going afterwards. You know, there'll be those of us who stay in the you know, who sort of keep the party going in the free group. There'll be those of us who keep the work going in the course itself, and then there'll be people who just go off and put all the stuff they've learnt into action. And frankly, whatever anybody does, I am just so damn thrilled that people have come along and have enjoyed it and got something from it. Because, you know, it's not, I don't ever want to be a person who's running it thinking this is just about sales. I mean, I'd be lying if it was like obviously you run a challenge and run something like this because ultimately you are launching a product. But at the same time, if all you're doing is going in and thinking, oh yeah, come on, give me the money, for me that's never going to work, because I don't want to just be a that's not my focus. My focus is I'm not going to lie, it's like everyone likes to earn a living. It's like I'm not going to pretend, you know, I'm some kind of a monk who's like, I do it from the goodness of my heart. You know, we're running businesses here, but you know, ultimately, if you can combine running a business with actually helping people out and doing all that kind of stuff, then for me that's the absolute sweet spot. And there you go. You see, it's all lovely. Yes. So trying to think, for me, I was thinking highlights, but actually it's been running. So I'm doing this on my own at the moment. There's nobody else. There's nobody else behind the scenes. So I'm trying to make sure I read everything. I might not be able to answer everything, but I'm certainly reading everything that everybody does, because I want to be there to acknowledge all of the stuff, all of the hard work people are doing, because people are putting in an awful lot of hard work, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. So you know, I see there are other people I know who are running challenges, and they say, I've got 2,500 people in my challenge group. And I'm just thinking, I don't know how you do it. It would be crazy. Short of having kind of an enormous team around you. But for me, it's been lovely. I've really taken a lot from it, which is kind of just the gold standard, really. If you can run something like this, it's why I love doing training courses, both sort of live and sort of the kind of sort of online stuff. It's always a pleasure helping somebody else grow. Yeah, this is it. I've loved seeing the growth in so many people who were literally petrified enough. Yeah, exactly. Is that bloody great? That's fantastic, isn't it? If you can help somebody on the journey, just sometimes all it can take is a little push. And I had that push from Danny Wallace, if you know her. Danny Wallace was the person behind me who was like, you got to do this. I was like, I don't want to. I like it behind the camera. I like helping other people be in front of the camera. And she's like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. Push. And that's it. And once you start going, you kind of realize that actually, you know, if you start going, and I started going, and I was like, I've got to put some systems in place. And so what all this is, you know, what you are getting is a small sliver of my process with the challenge. You're getting part of the processes I've built in order to keep me on track. And I found that the processes that we built to keep me on track actually turned out to be quite good for everybody else, for kind of reasonable, normal human beings as well, as opposed to me. Number 2. We're a bit, my boss obviously isn't around tonight because he's a busy man at the moment. Hopefully I'm going to meet up with Mike for a pint. I don't know. One thing I didn't ask actually is I don't know if anybody's down sort of Devon Cornwall way in the challenge group. You know, I think we've got quite an international crowd, but I don't think we've got anybody who's down my neck of the woods. Number 2. Yeah, number 2's safe. Number 2's safe. It's number 3 you've got to watch out for, Karen. I've decided that, so for the course, I love an excuse for a party, and I've decided to give it a little bit of a sort of a filmic feel by having a wrap party, as in WRAP, rather than the horrifying prospect of seeing a middle-aged, privately educated white guy rapping. Be like the worst. That would just be the worst thing. I think my kids would just literally implode. I'm doing a rap party for the course. So everybody who's on the course will get to come together and meet up at the farm and have some fun. If the weather is good, it will sort of be a late. We'll have a training day during the day, and I'll get some speakers and sort of make it a content and cocktails live, and then in the evening, I was thinking of having a big party, and possibly, what do I say? Possibly, definitely having a cocktail bar. Assuming that we're not all once again locked in our homes, in our basements, as Matt Hancock or whoever. Although I can't imagine Matt Hancock's going to be around for much longer. Cheers. Number 2, Danger Zone. Yeah, so I like the idea of a rap party. Yeah. So I think I was going to talk a bit about repurposing. That's because you're hard, Karen. The French 75, I've never known anybody to stay very sober very long drinking them, because there's something about the combination of gin in a carrier of champagne that is really really potent. You don't mess with the French 75. They're like pop. You'll drink loads and then you'll go, oh my god, I can barely walk. Yeah, ooh, messy. Yeah, exactly. It's Bernard, Bernard would describe it as not a drink for amateurs, but it is ridiculously tasty. It's kind of I have visions, so they probably won't happen, but there's part of the mastermind. I'm sort of supposed to be out going to Croatia, possibly late in sort of mid-July, but I'm very it is a work thing, but I feel a bit awkward about it, to be honest. So I have sort of visions of sort of standing on a kind of a veranda overlooking Split Harbour with a French 75 in hand, in a kind of a sun-kissed Adriatic evening. And that fantasy is keeping me going at the moment. Yeah, but I was going to talk a bit about repurposing, because this is one of those subjects that actually can make a huge difference to the volume of content you put out there. Volume is important, quality is important, but volume is important too, because part of visibility is just about having enough content out there that people get familiar with you. Go back to the mere principle, this idea of we like what we are familiar with. We tend to favor things we see more often, and it has very little to do with things like quality and all of that kind of stuff. You obviously want to deliver quality, but also at the same time you want to be familiar. You want to be somebody who is able to leverage familiarity for your business, and so part of that is output volume. If you can keep a high volume of good quality content flowing out from you to your audience, to your ideal audience, then you are onto a winner. And one of the ways you can do that is by taking your lives and effectively treating them as a whole carcass, and you can cut them up any which way and turn them into sausages, chops, maybe a steak. You know, you're taking that whole live and sort of cutting it up into lots of different things. Could be short videos for TikTok or for Reels or for whatever, you know, content goes out on YouTube. Currently, I'm doing a, I think I can remember. So I did a live, and I came up with the phrase pre-purposing, which kind of I quite liked. Pre-purposing is the act of doing things before or during your content, which maximizes its value. So currently, this live is going out to 7 different places. It's going, where is it going out to? It is going out to my VideoTrack business page, my Video Skills Made Easy Twitch channel, which has got, it's got one. Okay, who is out there on Twitch? If you are watching this on Twitch, say hello, please, 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 please. I'm just gonna log into Twitch. I want to know, because somebody keeps tuning in. Somebody keeps tuning in and saying. So I can. So it should now say there. So there's, yeah. So VideoTrack. So the VideoTrack business page, Video Skills Made Easy Twitch, my personal page, Tom Stanhope, my free group, Grow Your Business with Video, the Go Live Get Happy group. So that's the pop-up group for the challenge. Then we are going live onto my Periscope, via Periscope onto Twitter, which has 0 people watching. And we're live onto YouTube, onto the Video Skills Made Easy channel. So that is sort of maximizing the content. So this is a paid for service. I pay sort of 25 quid a month for to StreamYard to be able to have this sort of service. There are other services available. Scott is an advocate for Restream, which is great, and you know there are other services out there. But I found I like Restream, I like StreamYard, because they come with all this ability to do all this kind of, you know, all this kind of stuff here. You know, it's kind of mirror all this kind of stuff. So you are taking the one live that you would be doing in one place, and you're making sure it goes out to all other places. So you don't have to sort of be doing crazy amounts of live. So Diane says, how on earth do you keep track of it all? Thing is, you don't have to. The system does it for you. So so we're gonna have a freaky moment. I'm just gonna share my screen, and we'll get a weird effect. Whoa! So you see here, I get all the comments, and let's just take that off there. So you get all the comments down the side, an infinite amount of toms. And those I can scroll up and down those, and so when a new comment pops up, I just click on that, and it pops up. There you are, Diane. Diane's there. So the system kind of does it for you. So I keep track of it by by not having to keep track of it, basically. Because it tells me where the comments are. What I do tend to do is, if I know I've had an audience there, I can go and check and see what the stats are. So clearly, whoever's watching on Twitch, they're not talking. There's somebody out there watching. they don't want to interact. I think the most we had watching on Twitch was 5 people once. Briefly, it was 5 people. It was very good. So yeah, Michelle, it's kind of StreamYard. So there's a free version of it, but obviously you don't get a lot of the features. But in terms of extracting the most value out of the content you are actually doing at a given moment, so extracting as much value out of the lives, I think is something that we should all be considering. because I think for the price of sort of 25 quid a month, if you are serious about live video, then it's a really easy way to get more out of it. So this live started off with me just doing it in my group, and I did it in my group until I was comfortable enough to sort of put it onto my business page. So that I then sort of went live in my group and then on my business page. The last barrier for me was actually doing it on my personal page, and it was really when I started doing the lives on my personal page that real traction started to happen. And I just don't know why that should be. I mean, it might be that I've got quite a few connections on Facebook, just because over the year I've kind of ended up connecting with quite a lot of people. I'm sure an awful lot of them are complete, they're sort of basically spammy profiles. Because you can't, man. I don't know about you. At the moment, I'm getting so many dodgy messages on Facebook. It's really horrible. You kind of when I started going live on my personal profile, it did change things up significantly in terms of the amount of people who tuned in and watched again. And the great thing is, of course, you get an awful lot of, most of the views for this come on the replay. So people tend to watch this more sort of frequently on the replay. I get more views on the replay than I do live views, which is really interesting. I think that's fairly common. But the other really interesting thing about StreamYard is that on the package I'm on, and so that all the paid packages will keep a good quality high def version recorded separately, so I can download this. I can download this file, this whole live, and I can cut it up to create different pieces of content from it. So I will probably go and take this section about repurposing and extract this, because really I'm not sure anybody particularly wants to see me saber open a bottle of champagne. As amusing as it is, does anybody want it particularly? Probably not. Right, I will probably start to wind this up now, because I'm going to go on to my next live, which is in the which is just into the group to do a repeat of the challenge task this morning. So those of you who want to stay with me, you are very welcome to. I will see you in about sort of 15 minutes, but I will have a quick break, and I will go and just get my pieces in place for the live later. Sadly, we still haven't identified my single viewer on Twitch tonight. If you are out there, I make one more appeal to you. Single Twitch viewer, wherever you may be, just reach out, just say hello. I want to know who you are. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you watching us? I'm not a Fortnite streamer. I'm not playing, I'm not playing, God, I don't know what do they play? What games do the kids play? Pac-Man. Right. So yes, I will see you in the next live. But thank you for being here this evening. We've successfully opened a bottle of champagne the hard way and not had it explode, which I think is a win. FIFA. Yes, that's true. They do, don't they? That's it. I don't know anything about football. I'm one of these people who likes playing sport but is really bad at watching it. I get quite bored and sort of wander off. It needs to be all action all the time, not just running up and down. That's not action. That's why I like rugby, because there's always somebody being wellied to the floor. Right. Okay. I'm just going to check I've not missed anybody's comments. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you for being here. It's been nice. I've enjoyed this. I will see you in the next live in about 10 minutes. So I'm not going to have a costume change. Nor do I. I'm a Hearts fan. I get that joke, Scott. Take care, Scott. Enjoy your Guinness. See you soon, Karen. Right. My call to action to you. If you're watching me and you're not a member of Grow Your Business with Video, come on over to the free group, jump on in there, on there, and sort of join me there, because it's a lovely place to be. It's a sort of it's a good place to carry on the party if you're not looking to perhaps jump in on the course. But there we go. I will see you 10 minutes time. Bye bye.